A big game for you guys tonight. Felt like it was a pretty much a must-win tonight in terms of having a chance to host a first-round conference game. You had a pretty solid game. How do you feel like you and your guys did?
I think we stuck to our game plan. We played aggressive with confidence, and with that, we knew we were going to win.
And what were some of the lessons, or what were some of the moments that you guys shared on the road? You guys were gone for 16, 17, 18 days on that road trip. What were some of the big takeaways that, whether it's Coach Fly or some of your teammates, what was the common message there while you guys were on the road?
We just got to stay focused, stay mentally ready, and, just prepare for the next game. Yeah.
And then last question for me, having that 3-game road trip late in the season with a possibility of you guys possibly going back here in a couple of weeks, how do you feel like that'll help you guys prepare when the time comes, whether you're either at the 4 seed or 5 or 6?
I definitely think we're going to be ready. As long as we stick to the game plan and we're mentally ready, we'll be okay.
Very good. Thank you, Cyrus.
All right, Coach, you want to just open up with your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, obviously, anytime you can get a win at home in a close game, that's a positive. I would like to manage the end of the game a little bit better, but I think we're still learning some things with a young team and how to close games out, I think, as we've proved all year. But Coach Jasic, said to me tonight after the game, he goes, man, you guys were just tougher tonight. And coming from him, somebody I really respect in the league and somebody that's built their program on toughness and rebounding and defense, I think there at Jacksonville, since he's been there, that means a lot to me and what we're trying to do here. I told our guys that. I said, at halftime we really challenged them because I did not think we were defending at all in the first half. And if you look, here in the second, I believe, let's see, they shot 48 in the first and 40 in the second, or 40.7. So I think our guys obviously heard the message, and just great to get a win at home.
And Coach, you mentioned closing games. It was Malik and Cyrus who made those 6 free throws at the end. They weren't at the line all night. How big was it for them to really cash in on the free throws when you guys, I think, were before those 6 were 55% going in?
Yeah, well, both of those guys, I've been so proud of Cyrus and the progress that he's made. I mean, a guy that came in here, not expecting probably to play a minute. And to be quite frank, I didn't expect for him to play a minute till he was probably a junior. I thought he was going to be a really good player when he came in, but he has worked his way and fought and clawed to deserving to be in our starting lineup. And I just can't say, enough about that kid and what he represents about our program. And then Malik, is a guy, it's been really hard for him throughout the year because I think if Malik was fully healthy, you'd see a lot different player than what we've seen. And he's really gutted it out with an injury that a lot of guys probably would shut down the season with. And we're going to have to do some things in the offseason to try to get him healthy. But both those guys, the reason I had them on the floor at the end, they're highly, highly competitive, both of them. Extremely tough. They both defend. They both rebound. So I was pretty confident when both those guys stepped to the line because I know, what they're about. They're about competitiveness. They're about competition. And they like being in moments like those.
The first 3 seeds in the ASUN tournament are pretty much set. Liberty, North Florida, Stetson, the top still up for grabs. But the 4, 5, 6 is wide open with Lipscomb, you guys, and North Alabama. How big is that North Alabama matchup come Saturday?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, they're all big throughout the year. And obviously we're going to do everything we can to protect home court. And it's funny, this time of year, everybody starts to talk about, David on the radio just said something about, T4, and if this team loses, I'm not smart enough to figure all that out. What we try to do is just win the games in front of us, and then the matchups will fall as they will, and once we figure out who we're going to play in the conference tournament, we'll prepare for them and do everything we can do to win the game on Saturday and then start preparing for conference tournament play.
Same question I kind of posed to Cyrus at the end there. The 3-game road trip before the 2-game homestand here. What were some of the takeaways there? And should you guys go on the road in the first round, how do you think that 3-game road trip would help your guys in that regard?
Well, it was really the losses we had at home before that were really tough. I mean, those were games I thought we could have won if a couple of plays go differently. We make 1 or 2 more shots. And so we talked a lot about, some teams I think go on the road and there's a little bit of a fear factor of, oh man, now we're on the road. Can we win on the road? And what I try to talk to our guys about is when you're on the road, it's just you. There's no other distractions. You know, it's not family, it's not girlfriend, it's not anything, but hey, we're going to watch film. We're going to be together as a team. We have a lot of no phone rules when we go to dinner, when we have meetings. So that's all you're doing is locked in and focus on your opponent. And I think for a young team, especially in the last month or so, they've done a really good job of focusing and locking in for road games.
And then the last question for me, aside from closing out games, what do you hope to see on Saturday when you face North Alabama and the adjustments?
Yeah, well, obviously they're going to pressure us, especially the way we struggled tonight against pressure, and they pressured us at their place. So really just keeping our composure and making sure that from a toughness standpoint, if we compete like we did tonight in the second half for 40 minutes, then we should be in good shape. But Coach Pujol does an unbelievable job, and those guys will be really prepared. And you always know when you play his teams, it is going to be a battle for 40 minutes. They're not going to let off the gas the whole time.
How many sprints has Cyrus lost in practice?
0 on the year. Never loses one. That's why he's starting.
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Good. Thank you.